Board of Sewer Commissioners meeting for October 27th. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:30. And have a roll call.
Sandy Slavin.
Donna Brock.
Peter Dunlop.
And Jim Gibberti. Okay, we have a quorum. We have no minutes for approval. So, whoops. Citizens' participation. We have nobody in the audience, so we'll move on from there. We have a sewer abatement for 4 Dogwood Lane. It's an abatement in the amount of $646, and is approved by the superintendent. I have a motion on that.
I make a motion, we approve the abatement for Dogwood Lane.
Second?
Second.
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 400. Okay, now, just for information, we have received Swiss Beach Project questions, a letter from one couple. They are spring and summer residents, and they have asked various questions, which I have responded to, and there were a couple that I didn't have answers for them at that time, and we still don't, but we'll have it shortly. Does anybody have any questions on the letter that was submitted?
So you just told them you had no answers?
I answered the ones that were answerable and did not, and told them I would respond to them when we had answers. If I had answers on the other.
Is there a chance you can share those answers with the commission?
Yeah, but I can't do it right now because I can't remember them. And
All right,
don't
I
have
just
them with me.
wanted to put it with the packet, that this is your response to this. Okay.
Yeah, I will get that to you, Sandy. I forgot, I didn't think to bring it, that's all. I didn't know we were going to have this in here tonight, that's why.
Is this the
Do you want the
Boston
answers?
Globe?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we talked.
Is this person correct?
No, that's not that letter.
Oh, not this
It's
one?
the one that they sent, that they signed.
Oh, okay.
No, I'll look up what I got, I'll just send it to her, it's easier.
Okay.
Okay. We have, a list of homes that are connected. We started off with, when we started this movement on connecting up non-connected homes, we had 77 homes in town that were not connected. We're down to 45 not connected at the moment, 32 are. I think we need to decide from here, probably, do we want to pursue these at the moment because of the moratorium, unless they're already in the calculation? It would almost seem like that we just let them sit for the time being.
Well, it was my understanding all buildable lots were included in the calculation.
That may be, and you may be right.
So if that's the
Don't
case,
remember.
these are accounted for,
Yeah, if they're accounted for, then we pursue it.
okay?
And if they're not accounted for, then we probably should table it.
Then how do we know if they're accounted for or not? Because I was under the impression everything that was a buildable lot was accounted for,
didn't-
which means that was part of the 77 that were mailed out. Because if he didn't have them as a buildable lot, he wouldn't have known to send out a notice.
I don't remember that conversation.
I don't either, but
Why do you, what do you base that on? I'm not disagreeing with you, I just don't
because-
remember it.
Guy gave us a list of names and addresses that haven't hooked up to me, that means that he expected those sites to hook up, which means they all have stubs. Therefore, they're all accounted in our number, or he wouldn't have their address or name.
Well,
Or did I misunderstand?
I think that's a long assumption.
that's an
I
assumption,
mean,
you
I'm
may
not
be
saying
right.
it's wrong, but
But why would I ask someone to hook up that didn't have a buildable lot?
Or
didn't have a
Your
stub.
assumption may be right, but I don't know that it's correct, that's all.
and all of this was prior to the moratorium.
Yes.
So,
What is this list here?
which is what?
That's building permits.
Yeah, that's separate.
That's separate.
No, but attached to this cover letter, there's another attachment that says 2019 must connect list. So there's the list of the 42 that have not connected and the 32 that have connected.
I'll go back to what I said earlier. If these are already included in our calculations, then yes, they must connect.
Okay?
And if they are not included in our calculations, then I would respectfully submit that we do not pursue this at this point in time,
Okay.
because it's flow that we couldn't handle.
I mean, just the title of his document is must
I
connect
understand what
list.
the
Yep.
title is, but
Yeah.
that, I don't know that that translates into exactly the same thing. I hope it does, but. Of course, then the other option with that is, if those are not connected, and if that is already included in our calculation, those to be put under consideration for reclaiming the authorization.
And refusing future connection.
Until the moratorium lifts, yes. However, that's for second discussion after we find out where we stand with this, I believe. Check, are they connected, are they included? Okay. All right, I put this status of British Landing on here because this came up as a discussion that I was unfortunately involved in. I think you all remember the discussion about British Landing, where there was a backup in the sewer line from flooding the rains, and it flooded the interior. Different spots and did damage, obviously. They are looking for us to pay the damages.
Isn't there insurance?
According to Guy, we are not at fault because they tied in improperly. Is that it, Peter? Exactly.
Well, don't we have to approve the tie-in?
We weren't even on the planet when this all occurred.
But
This well may go
I
back,
remember something else.
just one
this well
second.
may go back to when the rail thing was there. Yep, go ahead, Peter.
Should we be discussing this at all now that they're suing us?
They're not suing us.
I thought they'd hire an attorney.
They've hired an attorney, but they're not suing us.
Okay. So they're still looking to settle it.
Yep.
I got it, all right.
How much are they looking for a settlement?
I,
I'm sorry, how much are they looking for a settlement?
I regret to tell you I don't have that number. I gave that information, all the information I had on that to Rich Bowen today.
Because I thought it backed up because it got clogged with rags. Because it was improperly connected. Because I thought they pulled rags out of the line.
I didn't hear
So we
anything.
shouldn't be talking about it at all. Okay,
Well, yeah, we can, because it's not being, we're not being sued. There's a request in for us to pay damages, and that's where it sits at the moment.
and how many years ago was this, 2, 3?
Year ago? 2 years ago, Pete? Not longer than that. It wasn't that long ago.
No, the only thing I have on it was the discussion, you know, with the property manager. And it wasn't a locale.
Yeah, right. No, 'cause
So- Worth an arrow.
I don't think it was more than 2 years ago. Because it was after a big rainstorm that caused
I
it.
don't think the payout was much. I think it was like $8,500, something like that. It wasn't an awful lot. But there's a lot more to it, because the British Landing has a lot of storm drains tied into the system. But that's the way it has always been. Now, exactly how we handle that,
The question.
Storm drains
The
into
question comes
sewer
down
lines?
to whether or not, it was done prior to us. It's well prior to us.
Did you-
Prior to Guy.
did you ever go to Dr. Foot when his office was over there?
No?
Yeah,
When you go down the stairs,
Yeah.
that drain,
yeah.
those are tied into the sewer system.
Oh.
But, see, they go way, way back to when the place was built.
Oh, so more fresh water being processed by the system.
Well,
Well,
if we decide to acquiesce and pay them, I think we should pay them with the stipulation that they get any of those
Well,
rainwater drains
I
out of
don't,
our system.
I don't think we want to do anything on that now. I spoke with Rich Bowen today,
yeah,
and I've got another meeting with him next week.
okay.
And I gave him the information on this, and he said at the moment, they haven't sued us, so we don't have anything to do with it. Or he's not doing anything with it
Oh, he's not gonna do anything with it?
at the moment. He has, a copy of the information that I got,
Well, I don't know,
so.
by not doing
But this
anything,
is-
isn't that,
No, I mean, you haven't, it
I've
hasn't been
missed.
determined, determined whether it's their fault or whether we approved it, i.e. sewer department,
yeah,
approved it prior, because this whole problem goes back 20 years, really, at least. So, we're trying to play catch-up on this stuff. So what was done, back in the 70s, in the 80s, is a lot different than what you're trying to do with it today. I mean, in the 70s and 80s, you're gonna do some of this stuff on
how
a
long,
nod and a handshake.
how long has British Landing been there? Isn't that the old Greer lumber?
No.
The
Oh,
old
really?
car,
Just further down.
the car barn, the
The
car
car
barn,
That's the car
where they
barn.
used to store the trains
Oh,
the
that's right, too, yeah.
to and from onset,
Oh, okay.
the cars, yeah.
Okay,
British Landing has
They
been,
built the red brick building by the marina.
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
British Landing is what, about 30 years old?
Is it that, it's been there that long?
No, no
I
way.
don't think so.
Maybe 20. 30 puts it back, I don't think it
1900,
was there that long.
1990s?
1990s,
Yeah.
I would say. I don't know.
I seem to think that was there before I had my accident, so.
Yeah, the car barn was
I'm not
there.
talking about the car barn, I'm talking about British Landing.
I don't believe, I don't remember the marinas coming before conservation. Anyway, okay,
That's before conservation existed.
thank you, Jimmy.
So I don't know exactly when it started, but I know it's well prior to us, and we're just trying to play catch-up on it. And I'm only bringing this up now as a point of information to people, because it's in a kind of a limbo at the moment. But it's out there.
Okay.
Do we know what caused the backup? Because what Sandy just said isn't what I heard.
I don't know what caused the backup, that's why I say it's in limbo.
That we had a backup at the Narrows pump station.
Oh,
Yeah,
But I don't know if either one of them is correct.
oh, okay.
that's a problem. We get lots of good rumors
I
around.
think we better leave this
Yeah,
alone.
we are, that's what I say, it's on hold.
Yeah, but,
I'll talk to Rich and see what he suggests and what,
well, didn't they send a letter to Rich, or,
the lawyer sent a letter, but I had a packet of stuff dropped off at my house relative to all of this
yeah,
from Russ, which I gave to
Okay.
him today.
but didn't the property manager send something to the town explaining the situation?
Yeah, he did, I think, but then you've got Guy's explanation, which in the two are opposites.
That,
So, that's why I say we don't have a resolution, that's all I'm looking for, is a resolution, one way or
Okay.
another, I don't care which way it goes, but.
well,
just
let's
like to-
get both
like to get it
versions, and then
done,
we'll,
yeah.
To see where the
Okay.
truth lies.
Okay, I've had some discussions with Guy, I'm sorry he's not here tonight, regarding looking at the allocations we have out that haven't been utilized. And whether or not we can recoup any of these to allow some softening in the moratorium. There's a couple of the things that we need to do, which I will get with Guy as soon as he's back, and that's the one, once we identify those properties that may have the potential to bring them back, is to make sure they all get a letter regarding our policy that we have, so that nobody's surprised by it.
Now, I have a list from Guy in which he gave out 480 gallons and 120 remaining after we recovered the 600 from Kendrick, 3 Kendrick Road reduced their usage by 600.
But that was a voluntary thing up front.
Yeah,
We're not
but they
talking about
gave
that.
up 600. And then what he did is he allocated 480 to 5 properties at 110 per property, leaving a balance of 120.
Okay,
But unfortunately, I'm looking at this sheet here, in which 41 Rose Point got 110 gallons. 41 Rose Point said no. Which list do I believe?
Oh,
So he
what you're
approved
talking about.
15 Acorn Street.
wait a minute, let me get what was that first one you said? Rose Point?
On the first page, 41 Rose Point in red. He tells me on this list here, he gave them 110 gallons. He gave,
Yeah, well, wait a minute, back up. Rose Point, were they approved? No. They were rejected on August 22nd.
rejected by who?
Us. What's the date on that?
He did not give me a date on
Well,
it.
that's,
What's
that had
this?
to have been, obviously, that had to have come out after this date, that's what I'm saying.
So,
I'm not following.
This sheet, Donna, this sheet says that they applied for gallonage, they were rejected.
Okay.
Sandy's sheet says they got some.
Okay,
Okay,
so-
so it has to be after this date listed here
Okay.
and before tonight.
So he approved 15 Acorn Street for 110 gallons.
Okay, yeah. Okay, update attic, okay.
He approved 54 Manament Street for 110 gallons. The first line.
Yep.
He approved 59 Main Street for 110 gallons.
Did we approve it, or did he?
Guy gave it out without any discussion, because that was the 600 recovered from 3 Kendrick.
Yeah, but he still can't.
I know
do
that, Donna. This is extremely confusing and frustrating that he chose to give out 480 GPD that we did not have any discussion on.
What else is he doing that we're not discussing?
He's not here to defend himself.
I don't care. I'm really upset about this. I'm really, really upset. Who gave him the right to give these out?
He says they were being given out to people who had building permits.
I don't care. He's supposed to bring it before us.
He's been giving out to the people on the permit, the building permit that's right along. Whenever he has.
I thought this was all supposed to stop.
No, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, I'm just telling you what's been happening.
Well, you know what? Then something needs to be done with him. If he can't follow the procedure, I'm sorry.
I think I'd like a little bit more clarification on the list totally.
Well, now, what's the list you have? Can I just see that? I haven't seen it.
That was in one of our packets.
Oh, I didn't see this.
That was in one of our packets.
Not today.
It's not only, it's not only, it's not only, he's running this thing on his own.
Okay, but his logic is, he got this 600 gallons back from Kendrick, so he gave it out to these people because they are on building permits and looking for it.
Well, what are we here for?
Well, I asked that once before.
What are we here
What
for?
happened to the queue? I
Yeah,
thought we were supposed to go by that.
yeah.
Pending list. But I don't understand if it says it was approved for 41 Rose Point, no on this list, he gave it out on that list. Because it was only supposed to be allocated to people who had building permits. This moratorium and control of it's pretty hard.
Well, it's not being adhered to, and it's not being adhered to by the director of our sewer plant, and we need to do something about it. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry, but, you know.
You're right.
That really,
No, don't be sorry.
really miffs me off, because come in here and song and dance around us and then go do your own thing. I'm sorry. Now I don't trust them.
Now?
Well, I'm very, very concerned. I'll leave it at that. Now he's given me a reason, a concrete reason to not trust him. So, I don't know. I think that this should be addressed, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
And I think that he should be, there should be consequences for this,
Yep.
whether he be written up or whatever. But I'm sorry, that's unacceptable to me. And if I'm over the edge, tell me, please.
Nope.
Nope.
You're not. I don't think so.
I've gone through my notes for the last 2 months and cannot find where any discussion was about the 600 gallons coming from Kendrick.
I just want
The hell is
I
that?
just want to write these down, Sandy, if you don't mind.
Got a tugboat going by?
No, I think that must be something happening on the field. Okay, can I ask a question here about?
Go right ahead.
Something about this, well, between the moratorium and the connections and stuff like that. Now, at a meeting couple of meetings ago, we approved an abatement for my neighbor. And he's had the water shut off, and now he's gotten an abatement. Now, he's doing a lot of construction on the house. I know he has permits. I don't see it listed here. Is he going to be entitled to just hook back up?
If he's already got a
Well,
hookup, he is.
he never really disconnected.
He's fine.
He got an abatement based on his sewer user, but did he
Well,
dig
the
up
thing-
his sewer line?
But the thing is that he's had the water shut off, so he has not been using any storage.
Okay.
Okay, but he's got a storage hookup.
Just a second,
right?
Jimmy, let me finish the whole question. So, he therefore hasn't been dumping in. Where does those gallons show up, or lack thereof show
Allocated.
up?
It doesn't change.
Allocated.
It doesn't change our
What do
numbers.
you mean allocated?
It's
It
already, he's allocated whatever he had before. We haven't
How
changed,
did
we
he
don't
get
take it away.
allocated?
How'd he get hooked up? He had to have an
Well,
allocation.
the house was always there, and
So they
it
had
had...
an allocation.
And like anybody who's hooked up, and whether you flush it one time every day, or you
What
flush
in
it,
fact does this building permit have to do with anything then?
this is to
Is he on
say,
this list?
Here, Sandy,
No.
thank you.
Then he doesn't need to be, because he's already
Well,
got a
what
hookup.
is this then?
this is the list of people who have come in asking for hookups that we can't accommodate. This is the current building permit.
But they have sewer.
Some.
Some may have sewer, but they want a fourth bedroom, which means they can't do it because they don't have the additional gallons.
So as long as he didn't change the number of bedrooms,
He's fine.
he's
He's
fine.
fine.
He's fine.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, that's my understanding, because if I take a look at,
Well, that's the
Yeah.
problem. If everything we're going
That's-
by is an understanding.
If they've already been hooked up, in this case, he has been hooked up right along. He disconnected because his water was off and he's doing work. He hasn't relinquished anything to the sewer department. All he's asking for is an abatement in cost because he's not utilizing the facilities.
and I honestly, this is a building permit. I
Right.
have no idea what it means for sewer.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
No.
Well, I think the explanation is what you just said. If you take the third one down for, I don't understand them all, but the third one down, they want to add a bedroom.
Right.
So if they're at 3 and they want to go to 4, that's additional flow. If they've
Okay,
got
now-
2 and want to go to 3, that's no
Excuse me.
addition. Sorry.
Look at the third one down,
Yeah?
okay? They want to construct a single-family home, all right. Pays with them.
And they're usually 330 per home.
So,
So what this list is telling us, that everything under approved means they have approved building permit.
Me again.
Right.
They want to hook up to sewer.
Yeah, this is only telling us what they're after, not what they have.
That is correct.
They don't have anything they're looking for. And what they don't
Donna,
even
that
have, we
person's
don't even
yelling
have
at
the
you.
gallons
I
that they're
know,
looking
and
for.
she's,
So,
hang up. Don't call me again, please.
So Because Guy was saying that we would not consider any type of additional flow unless it was approved for a building permit. That's all this says.
Yeah.
Is what's happening with building permits. Now, if in fact, he's given 110 gallons to this thing on
Rose Point.
41 Rose Point, and 41 Rose Point
Was
doesn't
rejected.
have a building permit, does that mean that 110 is now available for somebody else? I don't know.
Well, I
Need
don't-
Guy here to understand.
I don't know when this list was put together. This was their building permit. Obviously, this was rejected August 22nd. Today's the 27th of October, so did something change in the month of September on this, or the first part of
As
October?
I said, I've gone through my notes and can't find any discussion on the 600 gallons from Kendrick.
We'll have to get clarification of what this is supposed to be.
But we've started with it as, we're referring to it as a pending list. We've got 2 projects on our pending list.
Okay, that takes care of that one. Okay. Good enough of this one for the moment. Comprehensive wastewater management plan, that's still in process. We don't have Guy to update us on where we are with that, so,
So we don't know how far along it is?
correct. And I'd like to get a definitive on that if we can. Also, on the groundwater discharge.
Well, could we request that we have Russ, isn't he the one that's working on that?
Yes,
Let him give us the update?
yep,
And he's also working on the groundwater discharge?
I believe that's correct.
Is he also working on the grant applications?
I don't know. That's a question I
He
have.
offered to now, I don't know whether he is or not.
I'll have to check with him on that.
But he did say that in order for us to put in any grant applications against that APR money, we have to take it to the selectmen and bring a copy of their minutes that they approved our request for the grant in order for us to be considered.
Have we done that, have they done that?
The question was, who's doing the
I have no
grant
idea.
applications? And we
I don't
have-
remember the selectmen doing anything,
And we don't have an
Have
answer
we
to the
given
first
them
question.
anything?
and I don't know if we've given them
That's the
anything for
first
them to do.
question.
Yeah,
There you go.
That question hasn't been answered.
So when we have him here for the other two, let's pin that down.
Definitely. Okay, superintendent's report. We don't have a superintendent tonight. Do we have unfinished business?
I have nothing.
Donna?
No.
Sandy? Sandy?
sorry.
Was that a yes or a no?
No, just give me a second to go through.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were doing that.
We have your list of steps currently being taken to address the moratorium. Do you want to make? Jimmy, you have your list of current steps being taken to address the moratorium issue. Maybe it might be worthwhile to read it and put them in the record. Because you sent it to us, that didn't mean it went into any minutes.
Right. Okay, the steps we're currently taking is to review unused allocations, decide what can or should be rescinded and reallocated. The CWMP, which needs to be accomplished ASAP, and it's presently being worked on. Hopefully, we'll have an answer at the next meeting as to how soon that will be available. That would also follow with the next one, which is groundwater discharge we're looking at. We don't have the answers on that or an area identified, costed. We need to come up with that and act on it ASAP. An update on any conversations with EPA relative to increasing discharge to the Agawam River. Who? The EPA, as my understanding, will talk to us but won't put anything in writing for us to be able to hang our hats on to go forward with. The regionalization discussions with Bourne, Mass Maritime, Buzzards Bay Coalition. Regionalization needs to be a priority, as there is potentially more money available to a region than individual town. Regionalization would be encompassing the canal. The idea of going to the canal would provide basically unlimited growth potential from the standpoint of expulsion of treated product, so that Wareham wouldn't have any hang-ups. The only problem that we would face after that would be when and if the plant had to be expanded to handle more flow, and if we were regionalized, then we'd have more people contributing to the cost of that. The pipeline to the canal, the railroad has been the discussed area, it's been surveyed, it's been done, almost everything is completed. Had to put a stop to it because of cost and COVID. An alternative to the railroad has been suggested, which will be looked at and see whether or not that's a viable alternative. We've looked at self-contained treatment plants for individual homes in lieu of septic systems. It's a couple of months out before we have any figures to work with, or whether or not they're viable for the state of Massachusetts. And we've got as and if gallons become available, we need to have to establish a priority in issuance. Standalone treatment plants are an option. Chinese have a model on that. The actual usage, handling, cost, installation, et cetera, is still in the definite maybe stage. And the only other thing was, so where I'm going to become user-friendly or obstructionist?
Thank you.
Okay, that takes care of new business then, I guess. Anything else?
Next meeting,
November 10th, 6:30 PM.
will you please invite Russ to talk about the CWMP?
Oh, yeah, he's already done, that's on the list.
November 6th, you said?
10.
10th?
So it's to discuss the discharge, the grant, and the
For starters,
WMP, the 4 things for us. 3 things for us,
starters. For starters.
for starters. And then for Guy, I'd like to have an update from him for his list of what is pending for sewer hookup from Guy. What does he have on his list? And what has he approved since we implemented the moratorium?
Evidently, he's approving, he's been approving updates all along.
Where? That's a building,
But this is a building, but it's already been approved.
from the building department.
Oh, okay, but it hasn't been approved by us.
No, that's,
Oh, okay.
so that's why this list they gave us is extremely misleading, because it is a building
It's a building
department's
permit.
list, nothing to do with sewer.
Oh, okay, all right.
Those people are on there because they are by a sewer line or something. I don't know what makes sewer, a column for sewer means on that report, but it's,
Now, you say it's approved,
a building permit.
so that means that they've been approved to add the bedroom?
I have no idea what that means. Yes,
Yep.
So what we say has nothing to do with it?
Obviously not.
I have no idea what the process is for the building department. So, does it say add a bedroom? But it could very well be going from 2 to 3 does not increase the usage. Going from 3 to 4 does.
Okay, you know,
Would it be worthwhile, I mean,
But
is,
all of these constructions of the new single-family homes,
and all is,
they're all approved by the building department.
that's the building department.
Right, but,
That's not us.
yeah, but that's my point exactly. These people are going to build these houses assuming they can hook up.
And if you look at the names on who's building them, it's the same guy building them. It's a contractor building them.
Okay, but,
So we're not worrying about individuals.
well, there are more than one name, Jimmy, but I
Well, you
grant
got-
you this.
You got
all the
5,
Same person. But the point remains, this person assumes that he has a sewer hookup.
he has to get approval on his thing to begin
Who's
with.
to
As far
say,
as he's concerned, he's approved.
who's to say he doesn't already have a stub there?
That's right. You don't know that he isn't already part of it. We don't know that he's not already part of the,
We don't know if this is
Relations.
if this is flow that we haven't accounted for. It's just, I don't know.
So you're saying that if he has a lateral, and he's putting up a new home, and it's a 2 or 3 bedroom, it doesn't affect the moratorium?
That's my understanding, because I keep hearing from Guy, if we put in a stub, they're included in the allocation that they're
We gotta get-
calculating.
We've got to get a lot more information on this moratorium, and all understand it the same way.
It would be nice if someone that understands this report can come talk to us.
Yeah. Because,
You know,
I
in all likelihood, there is a lateral for most of these places.
But if I'm looking on the list of items that have not been hooked up, they're not on this
you
list.
could find that on your cloud.
I could. Could.
You know whether or not they exist. Because the way I'm reading this thing, all this says to me is that there are two places that don't need, or 3 places that don't need gallonage increase. The rest of them all need gallonage increase, and these are all approved, with some exceptions. I mean, the yellow ones aren't approved.
That's the lateral.
If he's done it in green, they're approved. As a building permit only.
I can have a lot of fun with that plot.
Okay, Donna, you're on stage.
yeah, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
7:12.
If you're